Yahoo! It is Boily Boom. Okay, so since tonight is the night I did my first ever gig, very excited but still very nervous. I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to share with you my advice on how to deal with stage fright or nerves, whatever you want to call it, and performance prep. So you're probably thinking, well, if this is your first gig, how can you give advice on stage fright or stage nerves, or how can you give advice on performance prep? Well, if you've been following this for a while, you will know that since I was 21, I have been performing. And let me tell you, it took me like a good, I'm still working on it, it took me like a good 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years to work on my stage nerves, right? My performing nerves. And it was holding us back, but the thing that I've learned is it's all headspace, it's like it's what your brain's telling you, and you've got to kind of like work on that, and you've got to kind of like coach on that to kind of like get you out of that negative mind space and get you into a positive mind space. And it's not easy. It's not easy. Like I've been there, I've wore the t-shirt, I've went and I've flunked, if that's a word, flunked auditions because of my nerves. So it does take time, and the reason I'm saying advice on how to deal with stage fright or stage nerves is that it's not something that goes away. Like even like artists that have been performing for years, like sell out arenas and that, they still get nervous. It's only part of like being human, to be fair. Like if you don't get nervous, then that is the thing that you should be like, something wrong in there, not being nervous. But also, I should say that everybody is different. You may find a coping mechanism that works different for you because we're all individual. If we were all the same, the world would be like a boring place. And again, if you followed me like for a while now, I've been doing this since I was 18, the old YouTube. You would have seen that in videos like when I do like beauty videos or makeup routines or anything like that. And I'm no makeup expert, right? But when I've done them, I'll say that the way I put makeup on will be different the way you put makeup on. The way I perform will be different the way you perform. The way for example, I remember one of my friends would be like, how can you go in a shop and be so fast when I take for ages? And I'll be like, because my way of shopping's different the way you go shopping. Like I go shopping and I know what I want. I'll go and I'll get what I want, and then that's it. But when you go shopping, you like to find something. You like to take everything in, and that's fine. We're all individually made. We're all different. We're all diverse, and that's cool. I'm just giving you my advice. So, I think the first thing you need to do is get yourself in a positive mindset. If you're going to go and be like, for example, you go for an audition and you'll be like, oh, I'm going to fail this audition. I'm surrounded by people that are way more talented than me. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to flunk this, right? I think I might have just made something new. So I might copyright that. Um, you're not necessarily going to fail. I don't like the word fail. I don't like it, right? You're not necessarily going to be going there and not be successful, but your nerves might come through and they might think, and I don't want to scare anyone, people that are coming into the performing world, they're going to think, well, if she's nervous in this audition in front of 3, 4 people, how's she going to perform, or they, or he, or whatnot? How are they going to perform in front of 200 to 1,000 people? So, and it is scary performing in front of that many people, but you've just got to be positive, and the way you think positive is thinking the opposite of what your negative way of saying. So you don't have to be arrogant, but you could be like, you know what, we've got this. Like, we're going to smash this. We're going to give it everything we've got. And if we mess up the lyric, if we mess up the line, if we say something wrong, if we trip on stage, own it, you know? Like, just roll with it. Like, the audience don't know that that isn't supposed to happen, you know? Like, even if, for example, like, I've seen the production Heathers twice, right? And I've seen Mamma Mia twice. I've seen Les Mis twice, right? The way the productions I've seen, they're all different. They're changing all the time. So if you're going and you don't see a production of something that's been along, and then you're in your mindset, well, people are going to know I've done a mistake because people know the show. No, just go with it. You know, own it. Be confident with it. The greatest advice I was given was by Michelle Visage. I met her at DragCon a few years ago. You'll see the video throughout. And I just says to her, because at the time I was just like, all I want to do is perform. Okay. All I want to do is perform. And I says to her, because she's got experience performing, like she was in Everybody's Talking About Jamie, she was in a girl group, you know, and when she's on RuPaul's Drag Race, she seems so confident, so badass. And I was just like, how do I get that? How do I become a diva like that? I don't. What advice can you give me for someone that wants to perform? And she just said, she says, look, we'll all make mistakes. If you make a mistake, who cares? If you forget a line, who cares? You know, if you say something wrong, who cares? She was just like, nobody cares. Nobody cares, right? So if you're going to make a mistake, roll with it. Nobody cares. She says the only person that opinion matters is yourself. If you're telling yourself you're going to fail, you're going to fail. You need to just think, nobody cares, and I'm going to do this, and I care. And the reason you're asking about it is because you care about this. And she was just like, but at the end of the day, who cares what other people think? It's the only person's opinion that matters is yourself. So since then, I was just like, you know what? Yeah, she's right. She's right. So I did the first time of getting a principal role was when I did Cinderella and I got the role of fairy godmother. And it was through the pandemic, so it was online. So it was a little bit better that it wasn't a person. But still, I remember before that audition, and it was the first time I've ever used this. And it was, you know what? If I don't get it, I don't get it. If we mess up a line, we'll mess up the line. If we fall flat on a tune, we'll fall flat on a tune. It doesn't matter. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And I think that also the beauty was is I'd never worked with that company before. I'd never worked with New Horizons before. So if I didn't get it, I didn't get it. I'll just move on, you know? So, and I think because I was positive in my mindset, that showed. And I took that, and when I did like my first audition for scare acting, I was just like, be confident, you know, they don't know who I am. Make a good impression, you know, make your mark. And I remember when I did that, and they were just like, it's gonna be competitive, it's gonna be not competitive, it's gonna be like the same thing. I've forgotten the word at the moment. It's gonna get cold, you're gonna get muddy. And I was just like, my response was, and I am from Jarrah, so it's just a daily thing, in it then. And they'd laughed at that, and that was me showing them I can do this. And when I did the audition for Cinderella, I was confident. I made a joke. I was like, "How are you?" and stuff like that. And just because I was confident in the interaction of talking, they knew, yeah, she can do this. And when I so from now on, I make sure that I'm coming across as confident, not arrogant, but confident, and be like, I can do this. And so now when I go for auditions, and I don't want this to sound like I'm arrogant, but not necessarily I get the massive part, but I always get a part because I've worked on it, you know, and I've the way I work on it is positive mindset, and I'll just say to myself, if we get this, we'll get this. So tonight when I go on stage tonight for the gig, I'll be like, look, if there's 20 people in that room, there's 20 people in that room. I'm going to give them people the best performance they've seen. If they don't like it, they don't like it. They don't know me. But the people that do know me, that are in the room, are going to love it. It's all positive mindset. Another thing that works is breathing, and this can go hand in hand with like your vocal warm-ups. So I like to do working on breathing. I like to it's almost like a meditation kind of thing, where I just sit and I stand and I close my eyes and I just hear my heart and I hear my lungs breathing. I can hear myself breathing in, and I like to breathe in. And the best breathing in exercise that I know is I learned this way back when I started doing vocal training with my past vocal coach, Jen. And she was just like, this will help, because I told her I'm nervous. Like, this is like, that's what like puts us past. She was like, work on your breathing. And you feel it's weird, because it's like when you work on your breathing. And another exercise is where you feel like you're shaking, you feel tense, is you like scrunch yourself up into a ball. You scrunch your hands, you scrunch your shoulders, you scrunch your feet, and then you just let go. And you do them a couple of times. Like, that helps me, because it just makes us feel more relaxed and less tense. But the best breathing exercise is you start by like you're breathing in for 3, you breathe out for 3, you breathe in for 3, and you do that, and then you breathe in for 3, you hold for 3, you breathe out, and then you go up to 5, and then you go up to 10, and you can go up to 20. I wouldn't recommend going past 20, but it's like when you breathe in, you breathe out. If people want to see videos of me doing them breathing exercises, I'm happy to do them with you. You know, like a little bit of mindfulness, a little bit of meditation. But yes, like working on your breathing and on like how your body's feeling. It's kind of like if you were like having like an anxiety attack or a sensory overload or something, you would work on like, right, breathe. The first thing they'd say is breathe, right? So when you're starting to shake, you feel a little bit sick, you feel a bit dizzy because you're about to go on stage, that's your body just thinking, oh no, we're nervous now. Like, it's just your nerves. It's not you're not gonna die. You're not gonna. It's not going to affect your performance. You just got to get it under control. And like I say, it takes time. But if you work on your positive mindset, being like, it's going to go well tonight. And if you work on your breathing, if you work on relaxing, shaking it off, do a bit of yoga if you want, if you've got a dress room, or if you're with the rest of the cast, right, girls, right, or right, guys, or anything. Let's do a little bit of stretching, let's do a little bit of like a little physical warm-up. I think every show that I've done like a vocal warm-up, and I've done like a little physical warm-up, even if it's stretching. And but it's important, like, even like I said the other day, I was just like, I'm only performing for an hour, man. My mum was like, that's a long time. And I don't think you realise, like, even if I'm going on the stage to sing, like, it's still a hard job. Like, you're using your vocals, you're using your throat, you're using your mind, you're using your diaphragm, you're using your body. You might want to dance about, you might want to jump, you're on your feet for the whole time, you're interacting. It's a hard job. You're like, even though I'm on there for an hour, I'm probably just going to come off stage and be like, oh, like, I've given it everything I've got. So it's important to work on like exercises, warm up, and it's also good after performance to come down from everything you've done, and to just take a moment to like, we've done that, you did great, and just breathe again. Because especially when you're doing a performance, when you're acting as a character, it's good to like come down from that. You don't want to take away that character with you because you are not that person, especially when it comes to like when I do scare at, and that is quite aggressive. Like I've got to be an aggressive person. So in the first year I did that, I was aggressive, and I was coming home and I was being aggressive, and my mum's like, I don't like this. And I was just like, I'm sorry, like I'm just like, just coming down. So from there I'd be like, I'll just breathe and be like, right, we are finished now. And for the first time, for the first couple of shows that, and I know this sounds silly, but I probably not do it the night because I'm not being a character, I'm just being me. But when I'm a character, I used to just like, when the first year of doing scare, I just used to come home in my makeup and everything like that. My hair was still in the way it was. Or when I did shows, I would come home in my makeup and everything like that. But I was just like, no, because that character's finished. Even if it was just putting it to bed for the night, that character's finished. So I would take off my makeup, I would take down my hair or tie up my hair, and I would get changed and stuff like that. So I was no longer that character. That was gone. And I would tell myself, right, okay, avoid you now. We do some breathing exercises, being like, you've done a good job tonight, well done. Do a little bit of a warm down, like a little bit of stretching, because it's very important for like your mind to do that. And you'd probably be thinking, what on earth is she talking about? But yes, but like I say, we've all got different ways of coping. I've heard like it. You've probably heard it in films and TV programs to picture everybody naked, but for me, that would probably just make us more nervous because I'd be looking at a room full of naked people. Or I remember when I was doing my driving test, we driving a truck. I said, before you driving test, have 2 bananas and 2 paracetamols. It will work, and it didn't work, but I suppose that works for her. Another thing that somebody says is before they go into like an audition or go on performance, they just shake everything off, like they put like rubber chicken it, and that's a good workout if you do like 1 2 3 1 2 3, you're shaking it out. But my mum says before she goes in, and like my mum's management now, but one of the things she gets nervous with is being on an interview panel, which I like, it's quite unusual because it's normally the person that is being interviewed is the nervous one. But or when she has meetings or anything, she says I get nervous because I want to be professional. I want to make a good impression. I want people to think I'm badass, right? So she learnt this from Grey's Anatomy. Me and my mum watched pretty much the whole of Grey's Anatomy through lockdown. And one of the things that Amelia Shepherd does is the superhero pose. And she pretends, she just says this, and she's like, her mindset is, I'm a superhero, I'm going to save somebody's life. And my mum does that now. So she'll be like that. And that's her coping mechanism. Performance prep, definitely, like, you probably heard the saying, practice makes perfect. Like, even if that's practicing on your own, like the first time I started singing, the way I would practice, because at the time I was scared of performing in front of people, I would record myself and hear myself back and be like, take notes and be like, oh, I need to work on that, and then go back and do it again and see the improvement. That's a way of that you can practice. But I practice with my mum because I know my mum was telling me, like, if I sing a song and it's not necessarily that I've sang it bad, but if it doesn't suit my vocals, she'll be like, no, not that song, or it seems as if you're pushing it too hard, and if she says, right, you've sang that well, I love that song, I know that we're on to a winner. So it's always good to have that that time to like rehearse, you know, and practice. Practice makes perfect, man. Even if it's like, if you're with a group and they'll be like, would you like more time to practice as a group? Be like, I want the feedback. Also, photo warm-ups, okay? So again, people are going to do their photo warm-ups differently. And something I've learned is that you don't have to spend ages on photo warm-ups. Like, I thought that you'd probably have to spend like half an hour on photo warm-ups. You don't. 10 minutes is all you need. And the best person for photo warm-ups, and this is a lady that I always watch before I leave the house for a performance, or if I'm in my dressing room, Cheryl Porter photo warm-ups. And she has 10 minutes photo warm-ups. Like 10. There's loads of them. And they're so good, and I can see the difference in my voice straight away. But it's like she works on photo warm ups, photo warm downs, how to work your diaphragm and everything. She's a genius, this woman. So I highly recommend Cheryl Porter. But yes, also hydration. Hydration is very important. It's very important for you, but it's very important for the vocals to keep them, I hate this word, but moist. Also, some people don't like doing this, but the warm up the vocals are vocal steam. It can be quite dangerous if you do it wrong. But I have a vocal steamer and I steam my vocals, but I just suck it in. But your body's telling you, right, okay, that's enough. When it gets to like not burning, but when it's like, for me, the way I would describe it is, it feels a little bit tickly, and then I'd stop. But the vocal steamers only last for a little bit because you're taking out the steam, you're taking out the hotness, so it won't last for long. Or but to be fair, it works for me. I can feel warm up. I feel like this area's loose. But the MD, one of the MDs I've worked with, was like, no, I don't like it, which is fair enough. She doesn't like it, but I was just like, I'll do this because I've read the instructions. I know how to use this. So if you do get a photo warmer, please, a photo steamer, please read the instructions or watch some tutorials on how to use it properly, because I would hate for me to be like, oh yes, I'd recommend a focal steamer and you burning your focals. I don't want that. My advice is for you to make sure that you're using it properly. Another thing for performance prep is that basically nerves is your adrenaline. You know, like, it's okay to feel like the excitement as well. But for me, if I'm doing something like full on, like if I'm going to be like, oh, right, I'm going to be running about for hours, or I'm going to be jumping, I'm going to be dancing, stuff like that, it's good to, like, your body has this energy and that's good, but it's also good to have the energy in your system. So I recommend having like not necessarily full on meal, but not have like an empty stomach. I know that a lot of people that I work with will have like a sweet treat, not necessarily filling themselves full of sugar, but like a little sweet treat, or something with loads of protein is quite good, like nuts or banana. Fruit is very good. Protein like meat. So I've seen a lot of people have like a meat sandwich and stuff like that, or like a salad before like a performance. Um, because you have to make sure like your adrenaline's giving you the energy, but your body's not giving you the energy, if that makes sense. So you have to be like, all right, okay, let's look after our body. Plus, it's good for nerves as well if you have something in your system. Because you're looking after yourself. If you go for a tattoo, the first thing they'll say is, have you eaten, have you drinking? Because like, if it's more, I don't want to say I don't want to scare people, but this is like the worst scenario. If you feel as if you're gonna pass out, you're better off with something in your system, because that's less likely going to happen. But if you go for performance and you haven't eaten all day because, oh, I'm nervous, I can't eat, then that's the worst case scenario, right? That might happen, and we don't want that to happen. Also, it's best that I've seen people, when it comes to like tech rehearsals, they're just like, oh, right, okay, they don't really take it seriously, or like not necessarily sound check, but it's good to get a sound check, because it's weird if you haven't done performance, but when you're on stage, it's like a total different sound to what you're like. If I started going la 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 la, it sounds different now, but when I've got sound around us, it sounds different. So you don't know the strength of your mic. So I'm not gonna do vocals. You go and you go belt out this tune, or you've got a hand in you, and you haven't worked on how to hold it, which way is best to sound it, or anything like that. Do I need to hold it here? Do I need to hold it there? You're not gonna know that, So it's gonna be a little bit, oh right, and it'll throw you off guard. So it's always best to take sound tech rehearsals or mic check rehearsals very serious. Make sure you've got everything you need, because you don't want to be stressing about, I forgot the script, or I forgot my drink, or I forgot my makeup, I've left it at home. Make sure, like I always do, like a checklist of the things that I need. Also advice, and I've learned this from Jeremy's Theatre Company by the lovely Fran and the girly girls, is have a little travel case, especially if you're going to do like a week show. They have a travel case, so you've got everything, because I got myself into a routine where I was bringing everything I needed that day in a bag, and then at the end of the performance run, I would have loads of stuff, and they just have this little travel case. So tonight I'm gonna take my little travel case, of me costume, and not my costume, but my outfit and me makeup and stuff like that, and I'll know it's in the one place. But yes, I think that's all the advice I can give. That's all the advice I know. Maybe do more research on ways of dealing with stage nerves or performance prep. But my performance prep is vocal warm-ups, work on your breathing, make sure you've eaten, make sure you're hydrated, make sure you have everything you have, make sure you rehearse, and make sure you definitely do your mic check. Do your mic check, people. And also, whatever performance you've done, or if you've done a character, leave it there. Leave it there. Put it to bed. Don't take it home with you. But yes, I hope that advice is good enough. But if you've got any questions that I haven't necessarily answered, then feel free to ask them in below in the comments, and I will make sure that I answer them. Don't be dumb, click the fun, be gems, share with your friends, and I shall see you next time. Bye.